Hello, hello. Have we got anybody there? Can anybody see or hear me? I've had a terrible job logging in, but I think we've now got it working. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? I believe we should have things working now, eventually. As I say, it's been a problem today logging in. I don't know why. I've logged in about 4 or 5 times and we've got to the stage where nothing has happened. And now my web camera doesn't seem to be working. Jim says okay. Let's see if the screen share is working. Because the webcam doesn't seem to be. But if we can get the screen share working, we are in business. So let me know if you can see my screen, please. There should be a slide up there that says marketing your business, making sales. Can you see my screen? Can you, if you can you just put a message in the chat box letting me know? As I say, we've had a lot of, or I say I've had a lot of trouble. I don't know why. I've tried different browsers. I got logged in originally about 5 to phone wasn't working for some reason. Then I got tried another browser. I got logged in, and yet it didn't seem to be working for anybody else. So been around the houses. I've logged in about 4, 5, 6 times, but this time I think we now have it working. So if you can see my screen, it should be a screen there. It should say marketing your business, making sales. So let me know, please. Can you see and hear me? Okay, Trish says she can see and hear. Anybody else? I know, Jim, you were one of the first to answer. Can you still see and hear me? What about you, Dennis? Anybody else? If you can just go to the chat area, let me know. I suppose if Trish can, you all can, but just not getting any feedback from you. Feedback is important. Okay, well, I'm going to start anyway for the benefit of okay, again, thanks, Jim. For the benefit of the fact that we do record these sessions for people that can't make it at the time. I know people live all over the world, and for some people this time of day is convenient. For some people it isn't. They're either at work or they're in bed or they've got to take the kids to school or whatever it is. But so for that reason we record them. But it's always better if you can get on the live version because we have the questions and answers there. So let's proceed. We're about 15 minutes late in getting started. So I will proceed once I find out where I put my files. Here we are. There. Right. So first of all, for those of you that don't know me, making sales is something I've been doing for many years. I'm going to cover in more detail about why we all make sales all the time, but just looking at this from a commercial point of view, if you like. I came from a working class background, and I got qualified, and I got a financially very lucrative position in Bermuda, tax-free, in the corporate world, and I hated it. And everybody thought I was crazy because it was everybody's dream lifestyle except mine. So I gave this up. I got married, and I got involved in sales because I didn't want to be in the corporate world. And eventually I just sort of, the sum of circumstance pushed me towards sales. And I was dreadful, but I got better and better. And I became a top salesman in various companies. And then my wife and I decided we'd start our own businesses. And if you start your own business, sales is something that you need to do. Ideally, you need to be doing it yourself. If you don't do it yourself, then you've got to employ somebody who is very good at doing it. But most people that have their own business get used to making sales. And it is essential that you make sales in any business, because a business without sales really is no business. It just doesn't exist. No sales, no income, no profit. So, as I say, I've been making sales as a salesman. I got involved in business as a salesman in about 1979 when I got out of the corporate world. No, 76, 74, 75. I got married in 74. So it was probably before that. It was probably just after we were married, 1974, 75, something like that. And so lost track of that. Just thinking back. So you've got a lot of experience here to call on. Now I know that you're all here for different variations of the same reason. There's something in your life that you want to change, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You'd be doing whatever it was that you didn't want to change. It may be that you want a better lifestyle, you want more time with your loved ones, you want to be debt-free, you want to travel more, you want a new home, new car, more vacations, college funds for the kids. There's hundreds and thousands of reasons that are all personal to you people. But they all need more money, and because of that, it's the money is the driving force, if you like, but it's what's behind that is going to determine whether you're successful or not. If you just want more money because you think, oh, it'd be nice to have a bit more money so I could afford to go to the restaurant twice a week instead of once a week or something, and it's a bit vague, you're probably not going to succeed. But if you have a massive reason, if you've got those reasons and those reasons clearly focused in your mind about what it is you want and why you want it, then the money becomes a way to getting that, and that is what's important, and that is what I'm here to help you get that cash. And you get that cash through making sales. But I want to just tell you a little story. My mother was a well-built lady. This could well be a picture of her. It isn't actually, but it could have been. She's about similar in size. And she said she was big because she couldn't eat eggs. She said that it was easy for people that ate eggs to lose weight because they could always have an egg for a meal, which wasn't too drastic. Whereas because she didn't eat eggs, she had to eat other things. And now we all know that that sounds ridiculous, but to her it was a valid reason. It was a valid reason, and this is why. It's because we all know deep down, if we're overweight, that it's a result of eating more food than we need. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of food, there's just too much of it. So we've got more energy being put in than we are expending. So there's two ways of losing weight, and one is to eat less and the other one is to exercise more. And you've got to exercise a hell of a lot to lose weight. So for most people, that is not really a solution. Most people that are overweight, it's because they eat more than they need. And it doesn't matter whether that's ice cream or burgers or a balanced diet, they're still having too much of it. If they weren't having too much of it, they wouldn't be putting on weight. And everybody deep down knows this, but it's an excuse. You're rational people, and you know really an excuse, whether it's the fact that you can't eat eggs or you've got big bones. This, if you're overweight, you know, or you don't have the time to think about it, or you're snatching meals here and there because you're busy doing other things, or you're eating from the fast food places, or whatever your reasons are, they're really excuses. And deep down, we all know that they're excuses. And the fact is, we all make excuses for whatever it is we want to get and we've not got. And until we stop making them, we won't make the change we want. So it's up to us to take on responsibility for where we are and know that where we are is our choice. If we're overweight, it's because we choose to be overweight. We've not chosen to do what it is that will stop us being overweight. If we don't have the cash we want, it's because we are not doing what we need to do to make the cash we want. There's no other reason for it. It's not that the employer doesn't pay us enough, or there are no jobs available in our area, or whatever it is. Those are just excuses. And if you're not succeeding in your business, and if you're not making sales, there are lots of possible reasons, but most of them are, when it boils down to it, excuses. So are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to say no more of the I'll do it tomorrow, no more buts, no more I can't, no more it's too hard, no more I'm too tired, no more I'm waiting for it to get easier, no more putting it off for whatever reason, no more I don't have enough money to do it, no more I'm not good enough, no more I would if I, or whatever excuses you have, you know what they are, and you know deep down that those are excuses. So until you're prepared to move forward with conviction, commitment, and persistence, and you are prepared to believe and act as if it was impossible to fail, you will not achieve your goals, whether that is making sales, to make more money, to get whatever it is that you have these dreams and aspirations for, whatever they may be. You will not get there until you say, I understand, and I'm not going to make excuses anymore. Now, we're getting back to the title of this, which is making sales. And this is something that you've been doing for many years. It's something that everybody does all through their life. They make sales. It's not always a sale of a product, tangible or intangible, to somebody in exchange for cash. It can be the sale of their idea. It can be the sale of their personality. If you've had a job, you've had to sell yourself to the employer. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you've had to sell yourself to that person you're in the relationship with. If you've got a friend, you've sold the fact that you are a friend to that person. If you have children, you're constantly your children, you're constantly putting your ideas forward and selling them to your children. Sales is something that we all do all the time. Kids are very good at selling. Kids sell to their parents non-stop. They know how to get what they want from them. It's a sale. It's making a sale. And sometimes what happens is kids get this selling ability knocked out of them by parents that really don't understand what they're doing. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to do good by their children. But instead of encouraging them to make the sales, but to really look to make sales for something that they really need, they tell them to stop selling, stop doing that, don't do this, I'm not interested in that. Whether it, you know, whatever technique they're using. And so kids get it knocked out of them and they start to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Maybe selling is not the right thing to do. It's not always called selling, but it's still the same thing. It's there in the mind. So selling is simply a matter of getting your point over, if you like. Now, if you're doing this on a commercial basis, it's getting your point over in a way that helps other people so that they're happy to pay you for doing it. And that's what sales on a commercial basis is about, but it's still about getting your point over, and it's still something that comes naturally. It's something that kids do, but through conditioning, through our social upbringing, whether it be parents, relatives, peers, friends, school teachers, whatever it is, we often get this ability to make sales removed, taken away from us, pushed back. And it's now that you've got to uncover that. So what's stopping you now from making sales in your business? Is it a lack of prospects? Because if it is, you've got to learn to generate leads. We're all in business, and whatever business we're in, if we don't have the leads, we don't have the business, because we've got nobody that we can present our solutions to, our products to make those sales. So you've got to learn to generate leads. And if you've been through all the parts of this particular sequence of training, I think we've been doing it for about 8 or 9 weeks, we covered generating leads in some detail, and we'll be going back to is the basis of all businesses, but we're not going back to it in today's session. But generating leads, if you've not got the prospects to present to, then you need to learn to generate leads. And there's no excuses. You just have to find a way of doing it. And there are hundreds, thousands of ways. I get asked on a daily basis by probably well, certainly scores of people, I don't know, maybe hundreds. How can I get people to my website? How can I get people to join my business? How can I find more people to talk to? And there are thousands of ways of doing it, but there's no magic bullet solution. You can't just say, this is what you do. You can in certain instances, because you can say, okay, just go and buy the traffic. But even buying traffic, whilst it's the best way, isn't just a push button solution, because you've got to know what to do with that traffic, and you've got to make sure it's the right traffic, and you've got to make sure that it's targeted to what you're selling. Maybe it's a fear of rejection. This stops a lot of people making sales because they anticipate people are going to be mad at them. They're not going to like them for coming to them with trying to introduce this thing to them. And that can be true. I mean, I've seen this I talk about the NFL, and that's not the football organization in the States. It's the No Friends Left club. Because a lot of people are taught when they join a business, particularly in multi-level marketing, to go and pester their friends and everybody they know, everybody they come into contact with about the business. And if you probably either been in the situation where you've been told to do that, or you've been in the situation where somebody you know keeps pestering you about joining their business or buying their product, and it's not something that you're interested in. And so what happens is people see you coming down the street and they cross over to the other side, or they nip in a shop, or whatever it is, they start avoiding you. But if you're doing sales right, and if you're offering a valuable service, you shouldn't be afraid of rejection. You should embrace the fact that some people are going to say yes and some people are going to say no. And you should welcome the fact that a lot of people are going to say no, particularly if you're in something that generates a massive income, because you need the services of people that aren't in your business to enjoy your life. You need people to run the cruise ships and drive the aeroplanes or the buses, or work in the supermarket so that you can go and get your stuff or make your clothes. Or you need all these people around. So you don't want everybody in your business. And if you're selling a product, not everybody is going to want to buy it. It's not there. It's not useful to everybody. You might be selling fishing poles, and not everybody wants a fishing pole. I don't want one. I don't ever want to go fishing. It doesn't interest me in the slightest little bit. I don't care how good your fishing pole is, how cheap it is, how long it is, or whatever, because I don't want it. I'm not interested in fishing poles, okay? I don't want to know anything about fishing. I don't want to even sit there and watch you fish. Fishing to me, no, it's not something I do. Now, if you said to me, I'm going to catch some fish, would you be interested in buying them? That's a different matter, because I love eating fish, but I don't want anything to do with catching them. It's whether it's by a river. I mean, I enjoy walking along by rivers, but I don't want to be fishing while I'm doing it. So you're never going to sell me a fishing pole. So it doesn't matter that some people are going to say no. What matters is you are being professional and offering a service in a way that is professional, and you're not pestering people that are going to say no. It's no good you keep coming to me every day saying, look, this fishing pole's still here. I'm still not going to be interested in it, and I'm going to get fed up with hearing about it. I don't mind you coming to me first of all and saying, look, I've got a great fishing pole that cost me $500 and I'm willing to let it go for 10. Are you interested? I don't mind you coming and saying that, because I'm just simply going to say, no, thanks. But I mean, there'll be a lot of people that are. I may even know somebody that is, and I may say, no, I'm not interested, but try such and such. I know he does a lot of fishing. Okay. So you say, okay, great, thanks. So you've not made a sale, but you've got a referral. So never a problem in approaching people. People often come to me and they say, can I ask you a question? And my answer is, yeah, there's never any harm in asking, as long as you don't mind what the answer is. And that's the way you've got to think. It's quite reasonable to approach anybody with anything, as long as you don't mind their reaction. So fear of rejection is not valid. It happens and it stops a lot of people, but it's not valid. And when you boil down to it, it's just another excuse. And what about objections? This is something that a lot of sales courses cover in great detail. How to answer objections, how to narrow them down, and this it's fine if you're a professional salesman in an industry where people generally need something that you're selling, but don't usually want to buy it. And a classic example of this is insurance. And I know this because I used to sell insurance many, many years ago. I used to knock on doors selling insurance, and I made a lot of money doing it. But most people buy on emotion. They buy what they want. They buy things for now. They'll buy things that are totally useless to them. They'll go around a county fair and they'll see things being demonstrated and they'll say, oh, that looks great. And because the demonstrator's done a good job, whether it's cooking tools or whatever it might be, and it looks really easy, and you think, oh yeah, and you're out in the sun shining, yeah, I'll have one of those. And you buy it and you take it home and it goes in the drawer and it's never seen again until it comes to the time to take it to the charity shop. So people buy on emotion. They buy what they think they want at any particular time, and insurance doesn't fall into that category. Now, it is something that most people really need, because they need to be able to protect their families. They need to be able to protect their investments. They need to be able to protect their home. So it is something that they need, but they have to be brought into line with why they need it and how it fits into their emotions, and so out about that person and find out how you can fire up their emotions, if you like. It's called a hot button often. How you can find their hot button so that they become interested in buying it. And they understand that not only do they need it, but they now want it. And so in a situation like that, then answering objections may be valid. But in most of our situations that we're in, it's not valid to answer objections. People ask me, how can I persuade people to join my business? And I get that a lot. How can I persuade people to buy this? There was one guy came to me and said, how can I persuade people to pay for this dating site? Because they join as free members. He was advertising this dating site. They join as free members and they don't go up to being paid. And I get asked a lot of questions like that. And if what you're selling is of real value, and this guy didn't know this is what I wanted to tell you about the dating site. I asked him, why should people upgrade their membership from free to paid? And really his answer to me was, because I make a commission out of it. He didn't have any thought or idea or reason why that service should be taken up. And particularly with selling to ladies, and ladies joined this dating site free, and they got masses of contacts from males on the dating site anyway, so why upgrade to free? And I couldn't see any reason why they should, and he couldn't give me a reason why they should, other than the fact that he would make commission from it. So most of the time, what we're selling in our businesses isn't something that you need to be able to handle objections for. And there are thousands of objections. I've not got the time, I've not got the money, I've not got this, I've not got that, I need to discuss it with somebody. But if you do the sales process right, in the way that I've been teaching, if you're getting objections, you've got to look at what you're doing wrong in that sales process, because you should be pre-handling any objections that may come up. And the first thing that you need to be looking at is, are these people interested in what I've got? Because if they're not, you're wasting your time to start with. And so you're going to get loads of objections. Well, and it might be, no, I'm not interested. Now, you want to make sure that they aren't interested, and it's just that it's just not the fact that they don't understand what it is you're selling. So you've got to be clear about what it is you've got. But if they're not interested, like the fishing pole example, you've got to accept that and okay, move on. So, but if they say, yeah, I am a fisherman, but I don't want that fishing pole, then you can take it a stage further and find out why and this sort of thing. But objections should be pre-handled in your sales process. It's not something that you need to do, not something that you need to be bothered about. If somebody says, and if you're getting an awful lot of people that come up with objections, and particularly if you're getting the same objection time after time after time, which happens to a lot of people, you've got to look at what you're doing wrong that is creating that objection, not at how to answer it, because coming to answer it, you're approaching things from the wrong end. It's like the you know, you can treat a sore thumb by cutting it off, but why is it sore? You know, you get to the reason of why it's sore rather than chop it off. If you understand where I'm coming from on this, you've got to go back and think what you're doing that is causing those objections to come up and how you can overcome those objections before they're even made. Okay. And that's what the sales process is about. And that's what I've talked about, and we'll be covering it more. So the simple solution really is only bother with people who want what you have. And this is often described as it's no good fishing in an empty pond, or it's no good fishing in a pond that's full of fish, but they're all full. It doesn't matter if they can't manage to eat anymore. They're not going to be interested in your worm or your maggot or your hemp or your spinner or fly or whatever it is that that you've got. They're happy. They're just resting in the shallows, and they see this thing floating past them, and oh, on another day I might bite into that, but I'm not interested today. You've only got to bother with people what you have, and that is the main thing. And that comes back to this leads thing. You've got to be looking for a hungry market, and you don't want to be finding a product and then looking for the market. Do it the other way around. Look for the hungry market. Where is there a lot of people that want something that I can provide for them? Because if you do that, then you can go to them and you can find out why they want it. Oh, I see you want a, whatever it is, a fishing pole. Why do you want it? Oh, well, I want it because the one I've got is only 6 foot and I need one that's 10 foot so I can reach further into the river where all the big fish are. Oh, okay. Why do you want to reach where the big fish are? Well, because at the moment I'm only catching small fish and not big enough to eat, and I just throw them back in. But I want to get these big ones, partly so that they're big enough to eat, but also, you know, I've got friends that are catching big fish, and I want a picture of me holding a big salmon, because that's what I've always wanted to do, is just catch this 25-pound salmon. Okay, so you've got to find out why they want it, and then you've got to find out when they want it. Oh, great. So if you had a 12-foot pole, it'd help you get that. Oh yeah, because I could then reach where these fish are. I mean, there's none of them where I can reach with this one, so I need to get it out there. I mean, this might be a ridiculous example, and some of you might be fishermen out there and know it's ridiculous. It's the principle behind it I'm trying to teach. So, okay, and when would you want that? Well, the sooner I can get that picture, the better. I want a picture up on the wall of me holding this fish. In fact, if the fish is big enough, I might even want to take it to a taxidermist and get it stuffed, and we'll mount the fish on the wall, and there'll be a picture of me with my rod underneath it, and everybody that comes to my house will be able to say, look, I caught that on such and such a day with this pole, and you know. So the sooner you get this, then the better it'd be, because the sooner you'll be able to catch that fish. And oh yeah, it'd be great if I could get it today, you know, because I'm going fishing this weekend, and so if I could have it then, that'd be marvelous. It'd give me that, you know, chance. Okay, so you're going fishing this weekend, you build up the problem. You're going fishing this weekend, but at the moment you've only got a 6-foot rod and you need a 10-foot rod to really get what you want. So in many ways it's hardly worth going fishing with the pole you've got. Is that true? Well, yeah, I mean, I'll enjoy it anyway, and I will catch some tiddlers, but it's not really what I want to be doing. Okay, and all the big fish, there's no chance of you catching a big fish with the pole. No, not really. I mean, as it say, you know, I need that bigger fishing pole. Okay, so without this big pole, really this weekend isn't going to be the success that you really want it to be. No, so it would be great if you could have that now, because if you had it now, that would solve your problem. Oh yeah, I mean, it'd be much better if I could take that pole with me now. Okay, you see what we've done? We're bothering with people who want what you have. You found out why he wants it. You found out when they want it. You've made the problem very clear. They already know the problem, but sometimes it gets just pushed to one side. So you've got to emphasize it so they really know what it is, and it's there clear in their mind. And then you solve the problem. Bang, ka-ching. You've made a sale. The person is happy because you've helped them solve a problem that they have, that they want a solution to, and they want the solution now. They're happy to pay you for doing that. They understand that you're going to make a profit, and they don't care. They're happy because you've helped them. And that is what making a sale is about. And you should feel good when you make that sale, because you've helped that person. You've brought them value into their life, and they're happy, and they'll come back to you, and they might even say, have you got another pole, because I've got a friend who wants one because he's seen me with mine. Or they might say, oh, that 10-foot pole's great, but I really needed a 12-foot one. Have you got an extension that goes on it? Or now I need stronger fishing line because the fish I'm catching are bigger and they'll snap this. So can you get me some stronger fishing line, or whatever it might be? They're happy. They're going to come back to you. You've made a happy customer. That's what sales is about. It's not about persuading people to do something that they don't want. It's not about backing them into a corner where they can't get out, and they just say, here, take me money and let me go for, you know, just let me out of here. It's about finding out what they want, why they want, and then when you've done it, just do it again. Now, it may seem boring to keep doing the same sort of thing again and again and again, but if you had a machine that churned out the dollars, which is what making sales is, and all you had to do was stand there and turn the handle, how many hours a day would you spend turning the handle? So if you've got any questions now, I'd be happy if you've got any questions and answer them for you. You got questions, I got answers. There should be, maybe there is a questions and answers section in this. Let me just see. Chat attendees. I think there's supposed to be questions and answers on how this works, but you can do it in the chat anyway. If you ask me a question, any questions related to marketing in any area, not just about making the sale or closing sale, any marketing question, or if you're a member of one of the programs that I administer or I'm founder of, I'm happy to answer questions on those. And let's just see if we've got any questions coming in, because if we've not, even despite starting late, really I've covered what I wanted to cover in this session. It's all about you stopping making excuses and just going out there and doing it. Okay? There are no valid excuses. There is nothing that should stand, thing that will stand in your way is you. So, any questions? Anything about anything I've covered, anything I've not covered, anything that you want covered? Anybody there? If there are no questions, we can finish. I know that there's a delay between me talking and you hearing what I say, and it varies in time. It varies from about 20 seconds, and it can be as much as 2 minutes on occasions. And that's just something that happens with Google Hangouts, and Google Hangouts are the platform that this software is built around that we use. I think there is even a way that you can share your screen if you want me to critique something that you have. You know, if you've done something and you'd like an opinion on it. Yeah, there is. If you click on the attendees link, the one with the three little people there next to the chat section, you can click on a request to speak button, and I can allow you to speak directly with me. I'm happy to speak directly with you one-on-one. And you can, as I say, I can even allow you to share a screen so I can see it. I can critique things if that's what you'd like. It's a facility that is there. These webinars are not about selling anything. They are simply about helping you be more successful with the business that you already have. Something that you can put into practice. It's something, these trainings you can bring people along to. And if you're building teams, I suggest you get them all here, and they can all benefit, and it'll help you grow your team. It'll help you grow your business in that way. Okay, we've just got people saying thanks. So that being the case, with no questions, you know, asking questions is the best way to learn. Well, the best way to learn is to teach. Teaching a subject, you will learn more about it than the people that you're teaching. The second best way is to ask questions about the thing. So always be prepared to teach other people, and always be to ask questions. Okay, thanks. That's it. Thank you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful to you, and we'll be covering a new topic next week. If you're registered hope an email reminding you, but at the same time next week we'll be doing another topic all to do with marketing your business, making money, making that money that you want to make the change in your life that will help you reach your dreams. And that's what we're about. Okay, God bless you and goodbye.